Well, seems I can only get part of this chore done today because I had this stuff over at storage. I grabbed my fletches, I grabbed my fletching tool, I forgot to grab the glue. Well, as I was telling you, this is why I had stopped hunting with bow and arrow with my friend, because the fletches on every single arrow need replaced. So, like I said, I can only go just so far with this today. And today, what we're going to do is just get these stripped down of the old fletches. I'll bring the glue back when I go to the storage next, probably tomorrow or the next day, and finish this video then. I mean, I could just go to the Dollar Tree and pick up super glue, because that's really all that arrow glue really is, but, well, kind of, sort of. But not exactly. Alright. Yeah, this morning, before it got too blasted hot out, and boy, let me tell you, it's hot out there now. I'd say it's near the century mark today. Not necessarily at, but near it. Definitely up in the 90s. And as I said once before, this old man does not like hot weather. And the reason these fletches got so abused as they did was because my daughter took my bow and arrows and used them. And she put the quivers in the case where you saw me take them out of. And that's what damaged the fletches, because she put them in there. Women, huh? I've tried to teach her better, but turns out that the college taught her to be a social justice warrior. Sad, but true. Now these are the easy ones, and I'll tell you why they're the easy ones. Because these are the ones with the field tips on them. But I've only got 4 of them with field tips. The others have SST jackhammers, I think they're called. In other words, they're razor broadheads. Wait, good law. Now, no need for you to watch me do each and every one of these arrows. Like I said, I'm just scraping off the old fletches. See? SST jackhammers, I think that's what they're called. They are absolutely sharp and absolutely pointed. Ouch. I've actually killed several deer with these arrows. But I'll bring you back when I have something other than scraping fletches to show you. Well, boys and girls, Archery Repair 101. Today we're working on arrows that need to be refletched. Now, I showed you the other day, and I just realized that the video wasn't as good as it could have been, how I was scraping the old fletchings off of these Beeman 2219s. 32 inches of them. And anyone who's into archery is saying, what the heck's he shooting them telephone poles out of? Actually, a 75-pound draw bear whitetail compound bow. I have a 31-inch draw length. I have the extra inch of arrow, so when I have a broadhead on there, it's out an inch beyond my hand. I have less than perfect sense of feel in my left hand due to a car wreck in 1984. I want to keep them razor blades as far away from my hand as I can. So here's how we do this, boys and girls. And yes, I've already done a few. Nice, huh? Almost professional job. But with a jig, it's not that hard. You slot in your fletches, and since I'm using a 2 white 1 orange configuration, I'm putting my whites into these orangish stands. Come on, go in there. And yes, you might notice my headlamp. That's so I have light on the job. I'm an old man, my eyesight isn't as good as it once was. And these grooves on these fletches for the glue is very small. And this is a fairly dark room. Oh, bother. Okay, we'll go the other way. And this is one of those less truly is more. You don't need a whole lot of this super glue, because that's, let's be clear, that's just what this is. Even though it's labeled as fletching glue, it really is just super glue. Though it may have a slightly different chemical formulation than what you buy in the, say, the Dollar Tree or at Walmart. Once the glue is applied to all 3 fletches, you slide your arrow down in the center, twist until it seats, close and hold for a count of 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I like to go an extra 2. Pull them out, and the fletches are left behind on the arrow shaft. Stick them somewhere to dry. That's all there is to it. It ain't rocket science, boys and girls. Peace out. Okay, boys and girls. We're still working on this, but this time with the arrows that have the broadheads on them. No, I'm not taking the heads off just to do this chore. Now, let me tell you about something here, boys and girls. Whilst I call my channel Smithing and Woodcraft, I am more of a survivalist slash prepper, not prepper slash survivalist. I honestly believe the way things have been going for the last decade or two, that it isn't long before this country collapses in the drool of its own nervous breakdown, financially speaking. When it comes time that you find yourself having to survive living off the land, let's put it this way. We see Canterbury talk about a 12 bore with the adapter kit. We see him talk about, you know, firearms, whilst they're nice to have, they're only as reliable as your source of ammunition. I can use that same arrow over and over and over and over. The hardest part of using an archery set to procure your food is one, keeping your blades sharp, not difficult for somebody who knows how, and having to replace the fletches. And that was incredibly cheap. That was a bag of over 100 orange fletches. And I believe I paid $6 or $8 for it. You could put away 10 or 20 of these bags of fletches. Real cheap. And then you've got, I mean, barring you accidentally hitting a tree and bending the arrow shaft, but you should be laying in extra arrows too. But I'm just saying, to have enough extra fletches. Now that was the expensive part of this deal. I looked it up. That's what, 30 or 40 bucks, I don't recall now exactly. Gifted to me, but to have bought it, 30 or 40 bucks and thereabouts. So that's the expensive part of the whole proposition for refletching. A few bottles of glue, I think these were $7 a piece for the bottles, and all it is super glue. Quite honestly, that's all it is. It's a type of super glue. So to be able to refletch your arrows, about 40 times, 45 times-ish, since I'm using a 2 white and 1 orange combination, you need 2 bags of white for every bag of orange. That's 300 refletches for 3 bags of fletches. That bottle of glue will probably do 100 if you cap it tight and the glue doesn't set up inside the bottle. Because let's be honest, I had 2 things of glue. I had this one down in West Virginia. Ain't no good. It done seized up inside the tube. But you know what they say, crap happens. So the point is, a compound bow with arrows, with repair materials, is far more reliable, way more silent, and far more recreatable in the bush than a shotgun with slugs. Even if you have the chemical chops to make your own black powder and load from the barrel, yeah, I know, that's something else Canterbury showed. I know it can be done. I've done it myself. The point is, you have to have an area where you can source the raw materials to make the black powder, and that just ain't everywhere. This, if you've planned ahead and laid in your materials, is far more bushcrafty, if you will, or woodscrafty, than a 12-gauge shotgun. No, I am not knocking what Canterbury says about using a 12-gauge shotgun as a muzzleloader. I'm simply saying it is not as sustainable as this is. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, using a 12-gauge is far more sustainable than owning, say, a Winchester 700 or Remington 700, whatever. A high-powered rifle that takes 1 caliber ammo? No. That is not sustainable at all. If you're going to have a gun, 12-gauge with the adapters, and then when you're out, every hen house, outhouse, dog house, and farmhouse is going to have ammunition in it. And if you've got all the sub-caliber adapters, you can use probably just about everything you come across. 90% of which will be 12-gauge shotgun shells. But this, like I said, that shotgun, every time you touch it off at game, it's going to tell everybody within a mile of you where you are. So it is not stealthy. And because of the inability to procure more ammunition, it is not as sustainable as this would be. Just my thoughts on the subject. And you notice you've never seen Canterbury talk about doing this. Not ever. And here he's supposed to be some kind of expert on survivalism. So yes, like I said in a past video, you're not going to see a whole lot of me. And even though I decided to allow that video to go on ahead and go public, telling you about my marital situation and the fact that I'm going to be living in a hobo camp very soon, I am still making video, shooting it with camera. The only question will be, when will I be able to get it uploaded? That'll be the only question. Because, like I said, while I'm still here at the apartment at the moment, today is what, the 22nd of June. I'm waiting on somebody to show up to help me offload the truck today because I hurt myself yesterday so bad I don't know if I can do the heavy lifting today. And last night I shot the video with the, boy, that was nice. Like I said, I didn't care for the flavor. I was after the more medicinal purposes of me drinking it to ease the pain in my back. But, that said, it's been so many years since I tied one on that that part was pleasant too. And I have been sober as a judge for so many years, I deserved it. Since I no longer have to worry about pleasing a spouse with my sobriety, only have to worry about pleasing myself. Don't get me wrong, I don't like to get drunk. I like to get what I call pleasantly inebriated. And even that I do very sparingly. But that was the first time I've done it pleasantly inebriated in 8 years. And the last time I did was at my stepson's wedding. So $11. I've got to go get me some more arrows though. Because as I say, I've got a dozen of these. I had a dozen of these, and one of them got damaged when I was shooting at a target with a field tech. Still got my full dozen complement of broadheads. And got all but one of my dozen of the field points. That's what this box here is for. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 broadheads that aren't on arrows. The rest of my field points here. The small versions of these struts here. The broadhead wrench there. And in this compartment was my glue. Yeah, thought so. Dropped one of my fletches. And yes, JJ, this is one of my old headlamps. Not the one I got from you in the giveaway, but that's also because the one I got from you in the giveaway is in my bag up in the truck. But I may be using that in the very near future. One can never tell. One can never be sure what Emberato's going to do next. Come on. There we go. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, look at that. They all lined up just peachy on that one. One quiver full of broadheads, refletched, and one quiver half full of field tips, refletched. That's how we do it here at the smithy. Oh, speaking of archery and procurement of food, let me share something else with you boys and girls. My 50-pound crossbow pistol with underslung quiver for my bolts. This is an aftermarket that I put together myself. In case you don't recognize that container, here's another one just like it, with the bottom still intact and the top still intact. This was when I was trying to quit smoking. I went to Walmart and I got the nicotine lozenges. 4 tubes in a box. And that's what this is. This is one of the tubes, so is this right here. I just cut the bottom off so the arrows could pass through. I modified the bow itself with a small hole right here. This was already here, this opening, and I just used artificial sinew to lash the underslung quiver to the underside of the pistol. 50-pound draw. There we go. All I gotta do is pull a bolt, set it in the track, and we're ready to hunt. I gotta figure out something different with this quiver though, because when you pull the first one out, the rest don't want to stay. This was just the first thought, first blush idea, and it's not working out as well as I'd hoped. But I will come up with something eventually. But that's for another time. Release the safety and release the string. No, I did not dry fire it, for those of you who didn't understand that. Dry firing a compound bow, dry firing a pistol bow, crossbow, is not a good thing. You damage the string if you dry fire it. That's why I released it using the cocking device. Well, That's all I got for the moment because I'm about to get out of here and go with my truck and go offload another load. Bye-bye. By the way, don't forget to